Fractions. We're going to do fractions today, but we're going to do them a little bit differently. Today's title is Fractions as a Group. I want you to get yourself ready with a pencil and a paper, pause the video, and when you're ready, you can start it up again. All right, last time we talked about fractions, and it was really important. This word here, whole, that's not a hole in the ground. Hole in the ground we spell like this. This means the whole thing, all of it. So we take one whole item, like one whole rectangle or one whole circle, which could be one whole candy bar, like a chocolate bar, or one whole pizza, and we chop it up into sections, okay? So this is one chocolate bar, this is one pizza. One means one whole item. Okay, that's what we did the other day. Today we're going to look at a different way to do fractions, and a fractions is when we have a group of things. So I might look at a group of shapes, and they don't all have to be the same. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes in my group, and I'm going to be looking at this group of fractions. So I'm not going to be chopping up the different items into sections. I'm going to be looking at how many things in the group are the same and how many things are different. So this is what we are going to be practicing today. All right, take a minute to write page 212 and the date, April 9th, 2020, at the top of your page. Pause the video and get ready. Okay, you're all set and ready to go. Okay, on the left-hand side, put number 1. Actually, this one is not going to be number 1, so erase that. Boy, this is just like class where Mrs. Ratzlaff gets you to erase stuff sometimes. Okay, we're going to look at this picture here and we're going to do a practice. So if you see here, we have a polar bear. We have a caribou. We have an ermine, which would have been trapped for its fur, like a weasel or a mink. We have a ptarmigan. We don't say the P, it's silent. That's a bird. And we have a musk ox. And those of you that did the tundra biome will recognize that all these animals are from the tundra biome. Okay, we have 5 animals. So when we're looking at these fractions, the total number of animals is 5. So copy this down with me. Total number of animals is 5. That goes at the bottom. Total, write this down. Total, and we'll use our little cheat short form. Total number of animals. That's what goes on the bottom. There's 5 animals altogether. The top number is going to be whatever characteristic you are looking for. So this is going to be a specific, that means one specific characteristic. And I'll explain that to you in a minute. Characteristic. That's a big word. Pause the video if you need a minute to write that down. Okay, we have a bear, a caribou, a muskox, ptarmigan, and ermine. So let's pick a characteristic. Let's pick size. So how many of these animals are big? So let's put the word big. That's our characteristic. How many are big? Well, the polar bear is big, the caribou is big, the muskox is big. So that is the number that's going to go on top. 3 out of 5 animals are big. And we can read this fraction 2 ways. We can say 3 out of 5, but I want you to try saying it the way that we did the other day, 3/5. And remember to put that TH sound on the end of fifths, okay? 3/5. Say that out loud. Okay, good job. I couldn't hear you, but I'm assuming that you did a good job. Okay, let's do another characteristic. So, What about horns? Now I notice the caribou here has some antlers, so those are sort of like horns, and the musk ox has horns as well. So we could say, how many of the animals have horns? So 2 animals. What number goes on the bottom? Remember, the number that goes on the bottom is the total number of animals. Pause the video and write the number that goes on the bottom. All right, the total number of animals is 5. So whenever we are looking at a group of 5, the 5 should always be on the bottom. Okay, let's do one more characteristic. Let's do color. So let's do how many of those animals are white. And I want you to pause the video and write the top and the bottom of the fraction. Okay, I count 1, 2, 3, polar bear, ermine, and ptarmigan. So 3 are white, and the bottom number should be 5 because there are 5 animals all together. So when we're doing a group as a fraction, we count how many items are in the group. That number goes at the bottom. And then we have to pick something that we're going to comment about. Size, what color, all kinds of different things we can comment about. Okay, here's our first official question. Number 1. Aha, it's got an A. So let's put A. It says, write 3 different fractions that describe this group of animals. So we've got another group of animals here. We have a seal, a lemming, which is a smaller animal, walrus, and again, our friendly little ermine right there. It says write 3 different fractions that describe this group of animals. So we have to pick a characteristic. We could pick color, we could pick size, or we could pick something else about the animal that we notice. Okay, so I'm going to pick size for the first one, but let's do small this time. So we're going to put the word small. That's what we're picking to comment about. So I want you to pause the video and see if you can write a fraction stating how many are small. Okay, the seal is a big animal, the walrus is a big animal. The lemming is quite small and the ermine is quite small. So 2 of them are small. That's what goes on the top. The bottom number should be the total number of animals. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 animals all together. So we say there are 2/4. You don't have to write this down, but here's how you would say it. 2/4. I want you to say that. The other way that we can say this is 2/4. Okay, so you can say some of the fractions, you can say a bunch of different ways. Okay, 2/4 or 2/4. Okay, now the instruction said write 3 different fractions. So we need another fraction now. Okay, so what I would like you to do for the next one is I would like you to do animals that live in the water. Okay, so write your fraction, pause the video, and write the fraction for how many animals live in the water. All right, the seal and the walrus are water animals. The lemming and the ermine are land animals. So again, there are 2 that are water animals, and the total number of animals are 4. So exactly the same as our last one. So we know that 2 out of 4 of these animals are small, and 2 out of 4 of these animals live in the water. And let's do one more. Let's do white. Okay, so pause the video and write the fraction of animals that is white. Okay, and if you had 1 on top and 4 on the bottom, you are correct. Give yourself check marks where you got the right answers. And we're just going to practice reading some of these again because it's just as important to practice reading them and how to say these fractions out loud. So with this one, let's do this one two ways. Let's say 2/4, repeat that. 2/4, repeat that. And let's do this one. 1/4, say that. Or 1/4, say that. All right, good job. I couldn't really hear you, but you guys are awesome, so I'm sure you did a good job. Okay, B, put the 3 fractions in order from least to greatest. Uh-oh, Mrs. Rosloff did not pay attention. We were supposed to write 3 different fractions, and 2 of ours are the same. Oops. Okay, well, we're just going to put 2 of these fractions in order from least to greatest. Okay, so we're going to start with the smaller one. So of these fractions, 2/4 and 1/4, which one is smaller? You can write that one first. Then put a comma. And then write the fraction that is bigger. So if you did that properly, you should have 1/4, then 2/4 quarters, or 1/4, then 2/4. Okay, Mrs. Rosloff disobeyed her big rule about read the instructions. Okay, here we go. Number 2. And 2 has an A and a B, so we're going to put A. The children in this picture are playing turtle catcher. The turtles have green vests. Okay, so let's just take a look closely at this picture. So look at which of the children have green vests. Okay, those are the ones who are turtles in this game. Now, in this game also, it's important to note that if you lie on your back in the game, you are safe. Okay? All right, so that's all the stuff we know about the game. The turtles are wearing green vests, and if you're lying on your back, you're safe. A, what fraction describes children who are safe? So we need a fraction. What number goes on the bottom of your fraction? The total number of children. So if we count the total number of children, we should have 5 on the bottom. I want you to pause the video and write the number of children who are safe. And if you put a 3, you are correct. B, we get to write our own now. What other fractions tell about the game? So, what else could we think of to write a fraction about? We could write a fraction about how many turtles there are. We could write a fraction about how many girls there are, how many boys there are. We could write a fraction about how many people are running. So let's pick one of those. If we were in class together, I would let you pick your own and then I would check it. But you'll get to do that in a minute on the next page. Okay, let's pick how many people are not turtles. And I want you to pause the video and write the fraction describing how many people are not turtles. So we only have this one child who is not wearing green. So we have one person who is not a turtle. And the bottom number is not 4, 5. Always count the total number of children. Remember, I told you that's the biggest mistake that grade 4s make. All right, we could write some other fractions as well, but we're going to move on. Okay, now I want you to put number 3 here, and you have a job to do. Now, I went into my kitchen and I found 3 items that were in my kitchen. I found an apple, a pencil, and a fork. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to go anywhere in your house. Could be the kitchen, could be your bedroom, could be toys, could be whatever. And I want you to find 3 different items and come back to the iPad and the pencil and paper with those 3 items. So pause your video, off you go. All right, hopefully you're back with your 3 items. Now, listen carefully. You are not going to use my picture. I'm going to use my picture to do my fractions, but you are going to use your 3 items, whatever you found. I don't know what you found, but you found your 3 items. You're going to use yours to write your fractions. So your job and your homework that you have to take a picture of, or you can write it to me in the comment section, is you have to tell me your 2 fractions that you are making up about your picture. So I'm going to look at my picture right now. Do not copy me because this is my work. In a minute, you're going to do your work. So if I was doing this as homework, I would look at my picture right here and I would see that I have an item that's round. I have 2 items that are long and skinny. I have 1 that is shiny. I have 2 that are pointy. I have all kinds of different things that I could talk about, characteristics. So I'm going to pick something to talk about. So I'm going to pick pointy. So I'm going to write down pointy. You are not writing this right now. This is mine, not yours. Mine, not yours. Pointy. Okay, how many of my items are pointy? 2 of my items are pointy. But how do I make that into a fraction? On the bottom, I have to have the total number of items. 1, 2, 3. So the bottom number should be 3. Okay, now I'm going to make another fraction, but this one, I'm going to pay attention to my own instructions this time. This time, I cannot have the fraction 2/3 again. I have to have 1/3 or 3/3 or 0/3. Okay, I can do 0. Watch, I'm going to do 0. Okay, I'm going to pick a characteristic that none of these have. How many of these items are toys? None. A fork is not a toy, pencil's not a toy, and apple's not a toy. So 0 of my items are toys. How many items do I have altogether? 1, 2, 3. So 3 should be the bottom number. Now, you should not have copied my work. This should be your work right here. So you are going to look at your 3 items. Your job is to not just write a fraction. You have to put a word, then you put a fraction. And then here you have a word to describe some items, and then you write your fraction. Okay? So you can take a picture only of this and if you cannot take a picture, then I want you to write in the comment box your 2 words and your 2 fractions. And also, if you're writing that down, I want you to tell me what your 3 items were that you found from your house. Okay, so if you found a toy car, and you found a piece of Lego, and you found a banana, then I want you to write those in. If you're taking a picture, I will see the items in your picture. Okay? All right. And have fun with that. All right. Good.